Hello friends, this is me again, Chitra Jha, your host on this show called Chitra Jha Podcast, which is about living life fully in the now, joyfully, successfully, healthfully, peacefully, hopefully, insightfully, playfully, prayerfully, meaningfully, purposefully, fruitfully, and abundantly. And you are listening to the 7th episode of this show. In the previous episode, I spoke about how to begin your day in order to stay healthy. The word healthy needs a reiteration once again. You are healthy when your body is full of zest and energy. Your heart is full of faith, hope, and love. And your mind is full of peace and wisdom. When you feel alive, and health is our natural state. It is natural to remain healthy. Why is it natural to remain healthy? And why isn't that our current reality? Well, the answer is simple. You cannot remain healthy if you are not true to your own nature, your Prakriti. And each one of us has a unique nature, unique Prakriti. We do not stay true to it because we are programmed to conform to a certain way of living, which more often than not goes against our inherent nature, thus creating a vikriti or illness, which is nothing but the body's attempt to get back to homeostasis in tune with our nature. This is the battle that we are continuously fighting, losing some and winning some. At this point of time, it is important to understand the very nature of our being. A simple interpretation of our daily direct perception can tell us that we have a hardware, the material body, and a software, the default program that runs this body. I like to call it the indweller, someone who lives in my body. The body is mine, so the one who lives in it is me. That's who I am. Call it my mind, my soul, my spirit, or whatever. It is me who lives in my body, who runs this body, who's the master of this body. If I leave, the body is inanimate. I animate it. I am the anima. Any body which is animated is the body of an animal. A dead body is simply that, a body. Its intelligence, its anima is gone the moment the indweller departs. So health is about the comfort or the ease experienced by the indweller. If things happen according to the will of the indweller, all is well. And that is where we get stuck. How to know the will of the indweller? Is it our wants, desires, feelings, or is it something more than that? Over the years, I have understood that the agitation being caused in my body makes me ill at ease. So this agitation must be the origin of all my ills. When I follow the cause of this agitation, I am led to my judgments and my resistance to what is. The more I resist what is, the more I feel agitated. The more I judge what is, the more I feel agitated. The more I wish to control what is, the more I feel agitated. This agitation tells me that I am going against my grain. The agitation animates me in an exaggerated, aggravated manner. And I end up spending much more of my precious energy than I would if there was peace in my heart, if there was peace in my being. And the peace in my being comes through non-resistance or acceptance, through non-judgment or acceptance. Peace is directly correlated with my capacity for acceptance. With this understanding in my mind, my endeavor remains to accept all that is, including my non-acceptance, my resistance, my judgment, and my agitation. And this practice is bringing me closer to my true nature, that of truth, simplicity, joy, and love. I acknowledge and accept everything that emerges from within me in the form of thoughts, feelings, and actions, knowing that this is my current truth, my current level of consciousness, and I am a work in progress. As far as possible in my current consciousness, I do not compare myself with others or compare my current situation with another past or future situation. And if I do, I acknowledge and accept that. I understand that it is only my unacknowledged and unaccepted parts which eventually create agitation, unease, or dis-ease in my being. Any pain in my being is a sign of some unacceptance and some unacknowledgement. Many a times I become aware of what it is that I am not acknowledging or accepting. My resistance and my judgment lead me there. But at times I remain clueless. And that's when I do a blanket acknowledgement and acceptance by saying, I acknowledge and accept all that remains unacknowledged and unaccepted in my being. Yes, this is a 24/7 practice of self-awareness. Awareness of the indweller in all its forms. The wounded inner child who feels vulnerable, afraid, or angry. The inner critic who judges rather harshly. The inner guide who offers action-oriented solutions. The inner parent who offers solace. The healed inner child who feels joyful, playful, and curious. And the inner silence in which all questions dissolve and peace prevails. The I that I call myself has multiple forms, swarupas, and each one looks for acknowledgement and acceptance. If I don't offer it, it will look for it from outside me. And that will create more agitation in my being, because if I cannot acknowledge and accept my own integral parts, who else can do that? Looking for it outside is a sure short recipe for disaster, dis-ease, or illness. Once we understand this genesis of illness, staying healthy becomes natural, almost effortless. But for anything to become effortless or second nature, a lot of effort has to be invested first. And every individual achieves this effortlessness in their own time. Rut aaye, phal hoye. In nature, fruiting happens when it is the season to fruit. It can't be hurried. Our impatience and desperation doesn't help. It only harms. What helps is our patience, our confidence in the process, and our perseverance. The more we trust the process, the more we persevere patiently. Our body can take orders from any aspect of the indweller. When the wounded inner child is in charge of the body, we act from our fears and anger. When the inner critic is in charge of the body, we stay in judgment and resistance. When the inner guide takes over, we take solution-oriented actions. When the inner parent takes over, we offer compassion. And when the healed inner child is the boss, we become happy-go-lucky. The inner silence, of course, is a space of utter well-being. In this space, no wrong can happen. Now it is up to you to observe who is in charge within you. Who is ruling your body in the now? Who would you like to hand over the reins to? When my wounded inner child plays up, I look for the inner parent to take over. When my inner critic comes up, I hand over the rein to the inner guide. And once the solution-oriented actions and compassion come together, the healed inner child and the inner silence have a heyday. It is the natural way to health without being obsessed about it. And that's the way to go if you wish to live your life fully in the now. You're listening to Chitra Jha podcast. If you wish to catch my writings or want to know about my self-empowerment workshops, do find me on Facebook. My name is Chitra Jha, CHITRAJHA, and I'm your host on the show named Chitra Jha podcast. If you like what I share, please ask your friends and family to subscribe to Chitra Jha podcast by searching it on Apple Podcast app on your iPhone or Google Podcast app on your Android phone, so that they can listen to this show at their convenience. Yes, convenience is an important word for me. No forcing, no cajoling, only living life fully in the now. See you soon on the next episode of Chitra Jha podcast, in which I will talk some more about accepting our wounded inner child. All the best until then. Bless you.